London Noise. Now, if this is your first time hearing about London Noise, then where have you been? This iconic, legendary producer duo. Listen, let me just go through like the Wikipedia page of what they've done or who they've worked with. You might heard of the song called View by SHINee. Complicated by TVXQ, that's them. Married to the Music by SHINee. Dum Dum Campfire Red Dress Oh Boy by Red Velvet. Four Walls Rude Love Poppy by FX. Girl X Friend On the Snow Lightsaber EXO, that's them. Moon, Dress Up by Junghyun, that's them. Rest in peace, Junghyun. Y, Fashion Up and Down, Good Thing, Taeyeon, that's them. Monster, White Noise, EXO. Fire Truck, Wake Up, Switch, NCT 127. I could go on and on. Lotto by EXO. Zoo by Red Velvet, Forever by EXO. We Young by NCT Dream. Jopping and Too Fast by SuperM. Love Talk by Wavy, one of my faves. Baekhyun, GOT7, Shinhwa, IOI, Boys Republic, Sistar, Girls Day, Astro, UNB, Astro, The Boys, Twice, ITZY. Just from that list alone, they're already legendary. Me and my co-host Emily Haydell from In My Fields, our podcast, had the pleasure with talking with London Noise, who are dope people, who I actually met at KCON a while back, and we got to click very well. Let's just get into the minds of London Noise, shall we? Let's begin. Welcome back to In My Fields. I am JRE.
I'm Emily, and we have very special guests with us today. I feel like you guys are probably the most popular like K-pop producers or K-pop centric producers out there. This duo, they've worked multiple times with your favorite groups like EXO, Red Velvet, SHINee, NCT, SuperM, Astro, Twice, IOI, The Boys. Most recently, ITZY and GOT7, as well as Shinhwa and many more. So please welcome Greg and Hayden of London Noise.
Well, thank you for that wonderful intro. What can we say? Yeah,
that was great.
Yes.
Wow,
making us sound really good.
Hey, we have to, of course.
Exactly.
With your name, London Noise. First of all, how'd you even get London Noise? That feels like a name that could have been taken already. I felt, but like, how did even that name came to be? Obviously London, but just like, why did you choose London Noise? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't really know. I remember we had a list, didn't we?
We were sitting in my my mum's dining room of all places. We were sitting in there with a piece of paper, and we were like, right, we need to come up with a name now because we can't keep putting produced by Greg and Hayden. It's just not it's not looking good. So we thought, every time we travel, people always really like our accent and like how fast we talk, and so we thought, right, London is a really good iconic place. People love London, but just the one word London is too obvious. It's taken. It doesn't stand out enough.
Yeah.
And then I think we literally just wrote Noise down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, that could look good on a logo or something like that."
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, that worked." It was literally the first one we come up with.
I can't remember what the other names we had actually. I'll have to try and see if I've got a note on my old phone or something. But yeah, there's probably some terrible ones.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Wait, what were ones do you remember actually? I'm wondering like what could have been? Like, do you know?
Honestly, I don't know. I wish I knew.
We were just trying to put another word with London.
I think at the time it was like, you know, when everybody started taking the vowels out of words, like to make it cool.
Yeah.
Like there was like loads of clubs, so we just was like, oh, what about LDN, like London, and then
It worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
But people would call us LDN, which is weird because we always have to tell people it's London Noise, and they're like, people call us LDN Noise, which is strange.
Do deadlines make you guys stay focused? Like, do you work well under pressure or like having a deadline coming up very soon?
We're so used to deadline. Like their deadlines are like, we wanted it yesterday. So mostly every song we do is a deadline.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, we do work well under pressure, and we kind of like, that's why we enjoy doing the writing camps, because we kind of thrive under that pressure of like getting stuff done. And sometimes that's hard to stay inspired. So when you have got free time and when you can do what you want, you know, like all of us, we get a bit lazy, watch too much Netflix or whatever. Definitely like working with deadlines and like working on people that know what they want. It's a lot easier.
It helps form a nice structure to your workflow. You come in that day and you know, right, we've got this deadline, you do this, I'll do that, rather than just coming in, putting YouTube on and finding what's new music, which is good, but it's more inspiring to have them structured structured days and deadlines.
So when you worked with artists like Nick Jonas, compared to, I guess let's say like Nick Jonas compared to like when you guys worked a lot with Jonghyun, when you're given direction on how the track is supposed to sound, do you prefer that, and rather than like, okay, just do whatever you want kind of thing? And is that something that you experience when you were working with Western artists more than, let's say, Korean artists, when you're, if you're given direction or not?
I think everybody has some type of direction in mind when they're starting a project.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps to have a kind of, at least a guide of what you want to do, but you don't really want to make something. I mean, we always try and make a record. So if we're working with an artist like SHINee or EXO or any of those guys, we kind of want to make the next song on from that. You know what I mean? So like, we've done the music we've done for them already exists, right? So we don't want to make another Monster. We don't want to make another Power. We want to try and make something that's fresh.
That makes sense, yeah.
Sorry, what was the question again? I completely lost my train of thought.
It was a long question too. We pretty much answered it. Like you prefer having direction rather than like just free balling it, I guess.
And songs as well are more personal to the artist, so we could have a direction in it where we want it to go, but then the artist has their opinion as well.
Yeah.
So like for the Nick Jonas song, for example, we had a bridge section where we thought it should go, but he had a different view and opinion, so we just let him do his thing, and he come up with a really cool bridge section for that, which we thought our one was solid, but he kind of took it to another level.
He made it better. Yeah,
made it himself. He made it more for him, which is fine, and we're all for that. We're always want to produce the best quality song we possibly can.
I was going to ask, like, when you are working with artists, in what cases does a situation call for actually working with the artists themselves, like being in the studio with them, like during a song camp or anything like that, compared to when you're making it and you're sending it just back and forth? Is it because the artist is more just regularly involved in making their music, or is it like specific cases?
It depends on the schedule a lot of the time. A lot with the K-pop artists, their schedules are crazy. Like they're so busy. So because they're happy to let the songwriters do their thing, I think that's kind of, they're less involved. But more when they do their solo projects, they will come in and have a more stronger opinion than when they're in the groups. I think they get more of a say once it's their own thing. So like Baekhyun, for example, we worked with him quite closely on his record, and he was very vocal about what he wanted, and so that'd be the big difference. Whereas if it's a group project, then it's more the A&R or the manager conveying what the group want, because obviously there's 7 or 8 opinions, so they've got to kind of filter it.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Listening to like different types of genres, are you experimenting with sounds like in like your future projects?
Oh, always,
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
As Greg said earlier, we're always trying to expand on what we've done and not do the same kind of. Because we get asked all the time, can we have another Monster? And it's like, you can, but it's just going to sound like Monster.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
For sure, you want to create something. You want to create the trend.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's so difficult with stuff like that, because people listen to your work, they might love a song, and then they'll be like, can you make another one like that? But it's not satisfying. You know what I mean? It's just
for sure. I get that.
Yeah.
What point in your career did you ever feel like, wow, I made it?
I wouldn't say, wow, I've made it, because I don't feel like I've made it yet. I don't feel like we've got to where I need to be. But definitely, when I first heard a song back to me, I played at a stadium and a crowd singing back and having that success. Yeah, I think that moment is just like, it's goosebumps moment. And it's something that even now, when we still hear our songs played live, it's still like such a buzz, such a great feeling.
I remember we were sitting in the studio in SM watching EXO perform Power at the Winter Olympics. We was watching it on the TV.
Wow.
That was insane. Yeah,
it was just like all the traveling, all the long nights and days away from your family. It's just like all in that one moment. I just felt like we've achieved something massive here.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Really cool moment for us.
Yeah, I think not many people can say that their song's been at performed at the Olympics. So that's kind of let us
No,
really.
for sure. Yeah, it's a crazy thing to experience, especially witness. Like, oh, that's my song. Like,
So you mentioned like you're not where you want to be. Where do you envision yourself / where do you want to be?
Yeah.
A dream of mine to have our own project, like, and see that through and be successful with it. So I feel like that's something we're still working towards. And then beyond music, I'd love to be able to provide more for my parents and things like that.
for sure.
You know, buy them a house, whatever it may be, like, take care of my sister, take care of my family, things like that. If I could achieve that, I'd be super happy. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And also, like, we're really passionate about new talent and helping people, like, give them a path and opportunity, which we never really had as when we started out, like, just because there's so much talent now and there's so much, I call them like bedroom producers, singers. They're all just like in their bedrooms making this amazing music, but no one's hearing it. So any way we can, people send us music a lot of the time, we're blown away by it, and we want to help direct people in ways we can, just collaborate and communicate a lot with people. I think that's a big goal of mine. Yeah, I get more like happiness of seeing everyone achieve together, succeed, rather than just being like, oh, we've done this. But I want, as we said earlier, with our team, like growing up and coming up with all our friends. Yeah, it's a huge privilege to have that and share moments with people.
Yeah, share moments with people, definitely. Like last year, we just set up a publishing company. So Hayden and I are signing writers and producers as well now, that we could, like you said, that we can help and nurture that new talent and kind of give it the opportunity. So we're definitely looking for talent and demos and stuff. So we should drop a link in the video or something for demo.
Hey, you better subscribe.
We make it fast, right? You can put the country on a map, run it back. You gon' have me running laps. I just want you to make it clap. One at a time, baby, you're mine. Promise I ain't never give it away. I need a sign.